Hey guys, it's Lynn. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel at Fidget DIYs, where I fidget with things to make home decor on a budget. I post new content every week and all of my social medias are in my description box. In today's video, I have 13 Christmas ornaments that I hope will inspire you right before having to put up the Christmas tree. I truly hope you guys enjoy all of the DIYs. Before we get into the crafting, I just want to wish everyone a very blessed, happy Thanksgiving. You guys be safe and eat a ton. All that being said, let's fidget. For this first one, I got these wooden heart shapes from Valentine's Day of last year. I put some masking tape on the backs of all four of them and used my finger to fill in the holes with some spackling. And I did that, like I said, to all four of those. And then once those dried, I got my scrapbook out and picked some paper. And I decided to go with this neutral pine cones and pine needles. Now here I'm just going to put Mod Podge on all four of the pieces. A decent coat of Mod Podge on all four. And I let them dry. I put my paper on top. And then I used parchment paper on top of that to keep my iron clean. And then I'm going to iron over all four of the pieces, focusing on the edges. And I have my iron on medium heat, and that is going to reactivate the Mod Podge and cause that paper to stick to my heart shapes. Once I was finished with the iron, I came in and cut all four of the little individual pieces out so that I can trim along the edges a little easier. And so I trimmed along the edges as close as I could get. And when I finished, I used my emery board sander to sand along the edges of all of these pieces. And once I was finished with all the sanding, I took all four pieces and I took two and conjoined them like you see here. I took the bigger top part of the heart and faced the other big top part to the heart. I used my pencil to mark where I wanted to go and used my hot glue to put that down on there. I did that to both, and then I came in with some Walmart jute twine and wrapped both of the pieces around the edges of that to hide like any jagged edges or paper, just to make it look nice. Once I was finished with that, I'm showing you here, I just used masking tape and hot glue to do a hanger on the back. I'm going to burn the fuzzies off the twine. And I didn't worry about finishing the backs of these too much because when they sit on my tree, they're going to sit kind of flat. So, usually I like to do the backs of my ornaments though. And here I just clipped off a couple of hollyberry leaves. I got this velvet ribbon that came ribbonized. I bought it and it was already a ribbon. And I took the bread tie part off of it, stretched it out straight, and I'm going to do an awareness ribbon, as you can see here. And I'm going to pull it down in the middle. I'm using that little bread tie and taking the paper off of it so that it's just the little thin wire. And that's what I'm going to finish off my awareness bow with. I did two of those. And I put down my little holly leaves first. And I don't think I even put berries, y'all. I just put the leaf, the bow, and a pine cone in the middle. And I put one of the little wooden crosses on the front of each of them. And then I had this really thin gold ribbon that I made two shoestring bows with. And just put those on top of the pine cone near that green ribbon. I should have put it on before the pine cone, but, you know, here we are. And here they go. I just love these. I love the color, the natural look, neutral color tones. I have words, guys, I promise. We're off to a great start, huh? You guys let me know down in the comments, what do you think about these ornaments? Now to him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. Ephesians 3:20. And really the best part of this, it all starts in Ephesians 3:14, if you guys want to check that out. I personally love to refer to the book of Ephesians when I just want to feel encouraged by the promises of God. You guys feel free to start a discussion down in the comments. Now, let's get back to it. This one is a fun and goofy idea. I was walking the dogs and I saw how many acorns were just everywhere. And I started just picking up the little acorns and their hats and figured I'd try to do an ornament with them. I'm taking one of the little hats, acorn hats, and going around the bottom of it and putting it strategically onto this large green ornament. And I wasn't too meticulous about the gaps. I just let those be. And with this smaller red one, I decided to take some of the acorns and go the opposite direction with the hat turned over and the acorn still in it. And I'm just propping that up with my scissors while that little piece sits. And I'm going to go through and do some more of the little acorn hats, another couple of acorns, and then I have this stick that I grabbed out the yard, and I'm just going to cut a bunch of those little pieces off of there. And that went by fast. I have it sped up. I don't cut things that fast, y'all. And then you can see here, I'm just going to glue some of the sticks around the little acorns, filling in as much as I can, but again, I didn't worry about the gaps. I liked the red and green color poking out of these ornaments. And I grabbed some real leaves and I put two around the top of this ornament as just an embellishment, which kind of looked cool, guys. I'm not gonna lie. And I just tacked those down onto the side just a little so they didn't poke out all crazy, as you see here. And with the other one, I want to say I did one leaf. I'm not sure, but I did the same thing with that one. I had a couple leaves and just wanted to embellish these things and make them look cute. And then once I finished with the leaves, I came in with a couple of twine bows with really long tails. I like that. And here it is. I think these turned out super cool. It's bringing the outside in, and you guys know I love doing that with my crafts. I think that this is really neat. Let me know what you guys think about these natural ornaments down in the comments. Time to glam it up. So I've got this glittery ornament. I got a whole bag of these, which is why I'm using a bunch of them, from the thrift store for $1.99. And here I am taking some gems and just covering the whole thing with large, medium, small, all of it, tiny. I got that big container of gems at the thrift store as well for $2, y'all. I'm never going to run out of these gems. And for the second one, I did a pattern instead of just covering the whole thing. I did stripes down the sides and then a big one in the middle and two smaller ones on either side of those. Next up, I've got this fabric from a placemat I got at the Dollar General. And I'm just cutting almost like oval shapes out of that fabric. And what I'm going to do is glue all of these pieces onto this little ornament. And you can see here I start at the top and push my way down and finish the glue on the bottom. And when you cut fabric like this to cover a round object, it just makes it easier to cover the entire thing instead of doing like strips or, things like that. You can see here it just goes right over the last piece, just right. And I did that to the entire ornament. And the bottom, I came in and just did a little circle of that fabric, a smaller circle, obviously. I had to make it a little smaller. And I just glued that to the bottom of the ornament where those pieces didn't wind up meeting. As you see right here. Boop. Now, I'm still gluing it on there. There we go. After that, I came in and started another ornament with all of the little jagged pieces of stuff that I had laying around from cutting this fabric. So I just took a little piece, glued it on there, took another little piece, glued it on there. I wanted it to look frayed and crazy, and then after I finished putting all those on there with the hot glue, I came in and did a load, load of the Mod Podge. Oh, and here, I didn't show you guys me wrapping the ornament with these velvet strips, but these are literally velvet ribbon strips. They're about a 1/4 inch wide. And, well, you see here, I'm doing it with the green. There you go. I just glued the little strips on there. And you'll see what I was talking about with that fabric, the way that you cut it. Because here you have to pull the strip over to the side of the previous one to get them to fit right. There. And I did that around the whole ornament. And I made sure to cut off any excess. Oh, and you can see here I let it overlap on the bottom. There we go. I forgot to mention that part. And now I'm cutting the excess off. Now here I just made sure all my pieces were down well. I got this gold ribbon or string. It's like stretchy string. And I just wrapped that around the ornament. And I started that at the top of the ornament and wrapped it around to the other side, crisscrossing them basically, and using hot glue to tack those down. Once I got all of those pieces of string pulled around the ornament, I came in with some more of the gems. I did a big one in the middle and 2 small ones on either side. I love this one. The velvet ornaments are actually super cute. I like how they turned out. And here's the final reveal. Here is the Glam ornament with the design on it. Here's the green one with the 3 across the front and a string bow. And the fabric one that I did wind up adding a few gems to as well. And the red velvet one with a bow at the top of that one as well. And I spin it around here, and there's my crazy thrown together ornament right there. And the one I covered in gems completely. And I'm giving all of these to my sister as a little set. I think they all go together. Let me know in the comments. What do y'all think? I have a couple of ornaments thrown into this little segment. Here I have some coffee stir sticks, tongue depressor size sticks, the giant craft sticks, and I believe I come in with a dowel here or there. But that's all the wood I'm going to use for these. I think there's 3 projects coming up. And you see the pattern I did there with the tongue depressor sticks and the coffee stir sticks. That was one. And here is one of this is the second ornament. It is a tongue depressor size stick, 2 coffee stir sticks, and repeat the pattern all the way down. And then this one. This one is 3 coffee stir sticks with a giant craft stick, and then repeat that pattern. And I'm just cutting off the edges right here that are sticking out all kinds of crazy. Alright, so for this first one, I have these 2 Dollar Tree gnomes. I think I got them at Dollar Tree like 2 years ago. And I'm just going to take the gnome fuzzball with the red nose out of that hat entirely. I cut off the string and opened up the hat and just made it, I flared it out, got it nice and flat for the next part of this process. And here I'm doing the same thing with the little blue hat. And I've got these new fuzzballs, pom-poms. Anyway, I got those from the Dollar Tree this year, and I'm just pulling 2 of those out. And then some fur fabric I got last year from Walmart. And I'm going to use this square piece and cut that into 2 pieces, which is going to be my gnome's beard, which the original gnome didn't even have. Haha, so we're already doing better. And I'm just going to use my hot glue to put both of these wrapped around the front of one of those pom-poms. And I think I'll show you. I do. Just like that. And I'm hot glue that down. Ta-da! And I did that with both of my little puff balls And now for the hat. I've got both of the hats. I'm going to lay those out flat, trim the fabric, and to get those to stick to that buffalo check ribbon, I just used a string of hot glue around those triangle patterns. And then here I'm just cutting slits into the fabric so that I can wrap the edges and you won't be able to see the red. And I did cut the corners off so that I could come off of the bulk a little bit so that this hat will actually fold back up into a hat as you see here. Now if you leave the corners, it just adds more bulk and it's real thick and hard to work with. So, and here I am just pushing my little puff balls with my beards up into the hats and then just kind of tacking those in there with a little bit of hot glue on the back of my gnome's head. Just like that. Now I'm going to add a wood bead to both of them right under the lip of the hat for his nose. And I did that to both of them as well. And for our background, our back, the back piece, I took some antique wax by Waverly, sprayed a little bit of water on there, and I just used that to stain that back piece. I brushed it on, wiped it off, brushed it on, wiped it off, and I did the front and the back. Now I took one of the hangers from the gnomes and used some hot glue, put that down onto the back of the piece, and used a couple of strips of masking tape to make my hanger. And here we're going to jump right into the next one. I have that back piece of wood that we made. I used some large skewer sticks to go around the edges of that piece of wood. And now I've got these little hamster chew toys. I got it at the thrift store in one of their grab bags, and I figured I'd try using them. So here I'm just going over the back piece with some Waverly Snow White chalk paint, and I did one coat of that on the whole thing. Once I finished with the painting, then I dry brushed that piece right quick, just very gently, not too much. And while that dried, I came in with my different little pieces here. I've got a snowflake and 2 candy canes, and I'm painting those with Mountain Forest Green by Apple Barrel. Then I also used that same color and painted those large skewer sticks on the edging. And I did 2 coats of that green color, used some Mod Podge around the edge, and dumped a bunch of this really pretty diamond dust glitter that I got at Walmart along the whole thing. And we are going to do a final reveal on these things, guys. I'm just jumping straight into the next ornament. And now I'm taking the first piece that we made. It's kind of cattywampus. I did that on purpose. It's the tongue depressor sticks and the stir sticks. And I'm just going to go over the whole thing with Candy Apple Red by Apple Barrel. And I've got this little cute snowman, and around him I'm going to use these gold letters from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put Let It Snow on there. And then I'm going to sprinkle some gold glitter on the whole thing. So I'm going to use the Mod Podge, sprinkle the glitter, Mod Podge, sprinkle the glitter. And I have this white and gold twine. I'm going to put some hot glue on my snowman and stick him down on there where I need it to be. And then I've got a long piece of that twine, and I'm going to cut a shorter piece. I did a little bow for the front of this thing, just like that. It's a shoestring bow, but I wanted it to be really little, just a little nod to it. And I couldn't decide where to put it, y'all. I probably put it somewhere kind of crazy, but here we are. And again, with the back, I used hot glue and masking tape, and I'll let you see that right here. And then I cut off the excess string that was hanging off on the back. And for this one, I'm starting out with this clear round ornament. It's not round. It's like it's the flat oval looking M&M looking. It looks like an M&M. And I filled the inside of it with some waterproof Mod Podge. It doesn't have to be waterproof. It's all I had on hand. So I dumped a bunch of that in there and then rotated the ornament up, down, all around to spread that Mod Podge out evenly. Then I dumped that glitter in there and shook that up pretty good. And then here I have a little cardinal image that I got out of a magazine. And I'm going to use my glue stick and just adhere that to the front of this little ornament. And I smushed that down rather, with my fingers. And here I'm coming in and making the hanger. First I did the hanger part, I just looped it in there, tied a knot at the top, cut any excess off, and I put a bow on there as well. Here's everything, you guys. I've got the little gnomes. They turned out super cute. And I did add that bow as an afterthought. Here's the cardinal with the glitter. I love that one. It turned out super pretty. And I like that green string too. And our Let It Snow. The red color is totally inaccurate right there. It is so much redder than it is orange. And our little hamster chew toy, candy cane, and snowflake. They were super fun to make, and I think they all turned out super cute. I really hope you guys enjoyed all of the DIYs today. Please subscribe if you haven't already, like the video if you liked it, and share the video. It really helps my channel. And for all of my subscribers, a huge hug to you guys. You're so amazing. Y'all have a blessed one. I'll see you in the next one.